Fuck it. I'll make espresso live. I'll make my cappuccino live on air. They can hear the screaming demons. You hear that, America? That's screaming demons of coffee. That's the demons being purified out of my coffee so I can have the delicious coffee all across America.
And we're live.
Yeah.
Yep,
Dude,
Imagine possessed coffee beans being run through a coffee maker that's being steamed with holy water. What am I saying? That's what's happening right now.
Yes.
I mean,
Hey, wait. Hey, there's an idea for the next volume. Demonic coffee maker.
being purified by, yep.
Or yeah.
And believe me, I'm going all out. Like, I'm making the foam. Like, oh. Like, you best believe. I'm making me a cappuccino of doom, fellas. Cappuccino of doom.
Well, if you're gonna go, you might as well go all the way.
Hey, man. All I gotta say is I'm like the Slayer, the Doom Slayer.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
they fear me because of my coffee. Yes.
That's a
Yes.
really nice cover of Master of Puppets.
Right. I'm just saying. No, what's funny is I'm just sitting here like making sure the steam's good or the milk's good and steamed and everything. Just kind of like do my thing. Gotta have to let this thing like unplug it and let it run out just like straight air. So like when you're done making your coffee, you got to do this, right? To get all the steam out so it doesn't ruin all the valves and everything. Like right now, that hissing sound you're hearing is me just letting the steam run out of it.
Okay. So what you're saying is you don't want your coffee to explode.
I mean, I want my coffee to have that explosive flavor, but not to explode. Like I went ahead and made a little bit extra espresso, so I'm like having to cram the. Ah! I got my steamed milk on my Batman mouse pad. Oh. All right, so
I am the night and I have milkies.
Yes.
Remember that episode of Justice League where Batman pulled into a coffee shop and ordered what was it?
Literally coffee, like literally a strong espresso to
He
keep
went
himself
into a
awake.
coffee shop and he ordered matcha.
Wait, wasn't it like triple or something?
All right, it's some really strong coffee.
I think it was like a triple red eye or something.
Right. No. I'm a firm believer, gentlemen, that ye who lives by the coffee, pretty much when death shows up, he's just like, you're practically immortal at this point. I can't touch you. Like, yeah, exactly. That's why you drink like 4 or 5 pots of coffee a day. You become immortal.
I think the funniest part of that was that he actually paid with it with real money.
You pay with cash if you don't want to be tracked, all right? I mean, what's he going to do? Whip out his fat credit card or some shit?
This isn't a Joel Schumacher movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of, can we look back on that movie right now with the state of comics and just show it all the love it really deserves now?
Okay,
I think people have.
Every time I hear Bat Credit Card, I just remember the fucking nostalgia crate going, Bat Credit Card! You know?
I try not to remember.
All right, so, all jokes aside, we are here to actually talk about a thing of great importance, of channels that are being opened up for Halloween. I don't know. I don't know the full pitch. I just know it involves Halloween and, it's Mythoverse. So it's got to have some, probably occult things to do with it.
Were you, trying to do an accent?
Well, the first accent was like, okay, and then the rest was like me actually being like, I really don't know. Fill me in. Fill America in.
It sounded like you're trying to do a British version of Chris Chan.
Stop. I'm going to stop you right there, Dylan. Let's move on with the content, okay? I'm going to put a hard stop on that, dog.
That's nothing against you, Bob.
Hallowed Harvest. That is the reason we are streaming tonight, I believe. That is the reason we have been so graciously accepted on your show.
Well, I mean, Brett was like, yo, bro. And I was like, bet.
Okay. That works as well. Then we were accepted because of Brett, and I'm just going to shamelessly promote my work then. And the work of Dylan and Neville. So, Hallowed Harvest Volume 2 is a Halloween anthology comic. It is the second in our Halloween line. The goal of which is to every year create some new, fun, spooky Halloween stories to celebrate the Halloween season, celebrate the mythiverse, and celebrate the act of storytelling. So what we've done for the last 2 years is we've collected new stories and from some of the newer creators and less published creators in the mythiverse and give them a platform to share what they can do.
Nice.
Some fun stuff.
Fun stuff, you say? Fun stuff. You got goblins. You got real things that go bump in the night.
Yes, we do have things that go bump in the night. You can ask Dylan about that.
And other assorted noises.
Yes.
You got all them things from the Nightmare Before Christmas movie. We're gonna need that if it's Halloween. We need those creatures, mate. We need the vampires.
Oh yes, there's vampires, there's ghosts, there's serial killers, there's this year's edition has a lot of
the Nightmare Before Christmas serial killer.
Well, okay, so like when I was a kid, that was my favorite movie. Probably one of my favorite movies. Okay, favorite animated movie, because T2 was my favorite like live action movie. So.
Very good.
But continue, sir.
So, anyway, I guess to describe it more structured, Hallowed Harvest is our annual Halloween comic where we celebrate the Halloween season and tradition of storytelling and the mythiverse itself. So everyone here, except for Brett, because Brett's lame, has a story featured in Hallowed Harvest. So I don't know if you are able to like bring up a screen with the crowdfunding so I can kind of go through stuff, just not off the top of my head. If not, that's fine.
Oh, no, not a problem. I'll get the crowdfund up. I was actually not sure if you had the crowdfund up already or not. So
we're actually halfway through the campaign right now.
I DM'd you the link over Twitter, Bob.
Alrighty, word. I will be the first to admit I'm bad about these things because I work a lot now.
Understandable. Also, hello, Neil Star. Good to see you again, man.
Yeah. I would stream the Kickstarter thing, but I would have to close all the tabs.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
So many important art tabs.
You mean quotations, art?
Yes, very heavy quotations. More likely NSFW images.
Lots of plot.
Yes, lots and lots of plot.
I mean, it's always about that plot. That plot.
Yes.
No porno.
Obvious.
Very well. We just go there. So,
and it wasn't me this time.
Hey,
for once.
No. You guys should know that joke was coming. It was like there. Right there, and I was like, I'm gonna touch it, and I did.
Oh, you are you?
Alrighty. Oop. I guess I know how I'll do this. I'm doing this the hard way, gentlemen. Why am I doing this the hard way? Tell me why.
Because it's fun to do it the hard way.
Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a mistake. Not a single person's going.
No,
Nope.
we're just letting it happen.
Really?
We have accepted the inevitable.
I'm sorry. The first place my brain went was that theme song from the old Berserk anime.
Did we just lose
wait,
Bob?
Wait, it's just us, guys.
Rip.
Bob left.
Uh-oh.
It is our show now. Neville, it is our show.
The Backstreet Boys have killed Bob.
I suppose that is so.
It has
Oh no. Hope he gets back in fast, because I don't know how long this stream's going to stay active without him.
We can make content. So for those of you who are watching this, technical difficulties, a little more about Hallowed Harvest Volume 2. So it's a collection of 6 or 7. I can never keep the number straight in my head. Short stories and comics developed by the team from the team at the Mythiverse.
Well, I hope you know the name. Sorry.
Thank you, Dylan. Celebrating some different aspect of Halloween. We got prose stories, we got comics, we've got whatever eldritch horrors that Nebel produces. I don't know what to call them. It's a lot of fun. Trauma. Yes, we also have trauma. Not even a comic. It's just 19 pages of trauma.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all had to censor my stuff.
Well, there will be a censored version if people should choose that.
How do you cover up mine?
Yours will just be removed from the censored version. Easy fix. All right. So to go into some of the stories in Hallowed Harvest Volume 2.
While I ninja my way back in.
Oh, okay. Very good. I was trying to proceed without you. I didn't know what to do.
Dude, no, you did exactly what you should have done. Well played, sir. I'm sitting here like, I had the whole fucking web browser crash on me, and I'm just like, I twitch. Come on. Like, it was taking far too long.
Very good. Well, I was just getting into describing the stories. If you wanna get the Kickstarter on screen,
I'm working on it right now.
Don't crash this thing again, please.
Right? Yeah, no, right? trying to get it set up to where to share the right screen.
Proceeding while we're waiting. The first story that we have is My Best Worst Halloween. So this was a story that was originally supposed to appear in last year's volume, but due to unfortunate circumstances could not be completed on time. So we have brought it back this year. It is written and illustrated by Ginger Foxy, which is the colorist for Changeling and Urban Fairy Tale. It tells the story of Maeve Mackenzie shortly after she's learned of her Banshee heritage, getting into some shenanigans on Halloween night. So Brett can explain it a little better than I can, probably.
At least her Halloween went better than her Christmas.
True.
If you're on the Patreon, you would know.
Yes. So, but that promises to be the lighthearted palate cleanser before the hell that is the rest of the anthology. So, story 2 is I Burn with Hatred. I can let Dylan talk about it.
Okay, let's get this started.
Content warning, mature content ahead, nudity and intense violence.
Maturity from Dylan.
I said mature content warning, not maturity warning.
Yeah, you're not going to get maturity out of me. No.
Stop crashing!
Oh, this is
unfortunate. Let me see if I can share it, Bob.
I'm gonna.
Looks like Bob cannot fix
Got it. Got it. No
Haha.
crashing this time.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
but I
Okay,
swear, Brave has never fought me so hard on anything before. It's like today, Brave's is just like,
They're trying to censor
It
us.
It knows I'm here.
Oh
It
yes,
knows
it
I'm
knows.
here.
It does know you're here, Dylan. Why do you got to be the stream killer, man?
Nah, it's not him this time.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
the Brave browser's like shit. We can't be brave in the face of Neville. We got to get rid of him.
Okay.
Oh,
So I was gonna. Okay, so my story. Okay, so I Burn with Hatred is actually the origin story of my vampire character Helen. My story's been in development for a long while, and I finally get a chance to canonize her in the mythoverse through a horrific story where it's basically just like everything goes wrong and it's horrific, and making the character's revenge quest in her main story as justified as humanly possible.
It may have gone a little overboard in that, but I appreciate the enthusiasm.
No, it could have been a lot worse. I guarantee.
True, it could have been a lot worse, and that would have been just absolute overkill.
Well, maybe. I'm gonna go with yes as I sip on my cappuccino and go. Yes, I'll allow it.
Okay. Okay. To summarize it, it's that scene from Zootopia: blood, and death.
Yep. And
Yeah.
titty.
Yes, and titty.
I mean,
Look,
Okay.
it's like, okay, that's going into spoilers. Yeah.
no spoilers.
No,
I do not wish to deny your customers the glory of good story.
true. So,
As I scroll up and down your Kickstarter, look at the beautiful
Yes.
Kickstarter. You know you want the Kickstarter. Go to
Yes.
Kickstarter, back the book. Back it now.
Very good. So, let us focus in now on story number 3. So, scroll back up to.
All right,
23.
scrolling back up to Black Fire Covenant. I hope I did that right.
Yes. So, Blackfire Covenant is actually a continuation of one of the stories from our first volume, which is the Blackfire Covenant Part 1.
Yes.
Blackfire Covenant Part 1, for those of you who aren't aware, tell the story of a man, Theo, as he tries to save his friend from a cult. Delves a little bit into the Celtic mythologies, and is kind of a spooky vibe all around. And the second part kind of follows it follows the fallout of what happens when you break up a Celtic ritual. It's a lot of fun. Hey, Sporkman's in the chat. Hello, Sporkman.
Hello, Sporkman.
Howdy.
So I've read it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun story. I think it'll be a good time for people who enjoy just kind of like spooky short stories. Got some spooky time vibes.
Right. Oh, may I say, I'm surprised. I just found out something.
What's that?
We can't bring Spork in. Limit.
Oh no!
No?
I could
Yep.
I could dip out if you want.
No. Well, not sure. Like, it's one of those. I want everyone here because Spork has things he will ask and will understand. He probably already knows most of what's going on with this because he's good like that.
I mean,
I'm like, I've been out of the loop, and you gotta explain it to me. So you need someone who can do both.
yeah. I mean, I'm probably I'm probably the one who's the least relevant to this stream, and wouldn't be a big deal if I dropped.
All right.
I mean, sport. Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever needs to happen.
I'll drop out and make some room for you, Chuck.
Alrighty.
Very good. I suppose we can go on to the next story while we're waiting for Sporkman.
Yes.
Fruit of our foes, Neville. Explain your eldritch horror.
Oh, it still hasn't changed that.
Right, still the work in progress.
So it's also got the old title. The new title is Jungle of Ghosts.
I will fix that.
Okay.
I have edit permissions.
Good. Now abuse your admin powers.
It ain't abusing my powers if I'm fixing an error.
Yes, abuse your admin powers. So in time, we can finally have the people scared stiff as they should be. I've been working on my Vincent Price. I'm not sure how it sounds. I think I've gotten it fairly well down.
Well, I haven't met him in person, so I'll have to find a way to compare later.
All right.
Anyway.
Wait. How do you guys not know who Vincent Price is?
I know who he is.
I know who he is.
I just want to compare, so I want to meet him in person first.
He's been dead for like 30 years.
Yeah, that's no issue.
Yeah, Neville will uncover some hidden necromantic tome and figure it out.
Anyway.
But let's not talk about Hollywood's ghosts. Let's talk about your special brand of whatever the hell they are.
All right, so Jungle of Ghosts takes place at the tail end of a family beach camping trip on the island of Guam. If you don't know where that is, it's a small island in the Pacific Ocean that's a U.S. territory. And a couple of natives are out on a beach trip, and then the kid starts hearing voices, and absolutely nothing goes wrong afterwards.
He just goes home and is perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's exactly no. He goes into the jungle at the behest of these ghostly voices that beckon him in. The story involves a particular kind of ancestral spirit that's a part of Chamorro folklore. That is the Pacific Islander tribe that inhabits Guam and the other Mariana Islands. The spirit is called a Tautomona. And as ancestor spirits go, I mean, if at the end of the day, most ancestor spirits are just old people without bodies and magic powers. Tautomona are the kind of old people with magic powers that are Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino on the front lawn with a shotgun.
Get off my lawn.
They're kind of like that.
Plot twist, the ghosts are all like white people.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
But yeah, the Tautomona, as ancestor spirits go, there's something I kind of like about them being sort of ornery and ill-tempered. The thing they're most known for doing is that they'll leave if you enter their territory without permission and you just happen to rub them the wrong way, they'll afflict you with a horrible disease and leave a handprint-shaped bruise on your chest as a calling card. Although, if they like you, they'll give you super strength.
I am finally Superman.
As long as they want you to, anyway.
So what do you have to do to make them like you?
People have no idea.
Yep. They're very fickle.
I mean, if they like you, for whatever reason, they might.
Yeah.
And if you piss them off, the thing that people know for sure is how you piss them off.
All right.
One of the funnier ways that I know about is that I remember being told when I was younger that one of the things you have to be careful. Well, generally you shouldn't go in the jungle, but
Yeah.
one of the things that you should be careful about going into the jungle is entering. You need to ask permission from the Tautamona, and there's apparently a specific sort of prayer or incantation you have to say before you take a piss on a tree.
Fun.
That's
Oh shit! It's the Lorax.
Listen, you don't want them using their weird disease powers on your dick, all right?
No, not at all.
No,
Like-
no, you don't want it there.
They'll give you a mangina.
No,
give you-
no.
I mean, well, we
They'll
got
give
plenty
you the
of
ghost clap.
no. We got
Ghost
plenty
clap.
of manginas already. So I mean, would
Womp,
there be
womp.
any real difference?
Womp womp.
Womp.
Rip. Anyways, I just kind of wanted to touch on the art for the story. So I know we can't showcase a whole lot here without spoiling them, but I can say for Jungle of Ghosts, if you backed last year and read last year's stories, if you liked Maze of Dolls and you liked Dropping Out, I think there's a really nice fusion of just the crazy style that Dylan can bring to the table and Nebel's propensity for just terror. Like it's not that Nebel mimics Dylan's style, but like it has the same feeling of like just let's just make everything insane and see where it goes.
Well, yeah, because okay, something I can go into is when I start, the colors are relatively normal, but as soon as like shit goes down, that's when you see like hard reds and just weird colors, and
So
well,
you do, but you try to do like the, if you will, I refer to it like the Sin City effect, where colors mean something, and you try to have the symbolism.
Well, yeah, because I mean, obviously there's a canonical color, whatever color they had in the 1200s, but through like the imagery in the comic, none of that matters. It's the colors I put on the page that they're just used to get the point across.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I did with Dropping Out, another one of our books, where I didn't really like, I didn't know how to replicate the same thing for like another page, so like every page looked different. So it's like, and screw it, I'll just go crazy, do whatever looks cool. Yeah, and apparently people liked what I did there,
Right.
so it's kind of like a gimmick.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a gimmick. It's taking a weakness and turning it into a strength.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Neville, his artwork is like deceptively cute.
That's the understatement of the century.
I think, what was it? Was it Dan? Dan had this term for it that I ended up really liking. He started calling my style ambush art.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, look, it's all cute and everything's dead. Like it's
to those characters.
It's
it's like
honestly no. Thinking about it, like it's kind of like Happy Tree Friends.
I was about to reference that.
Being super cutesy and then just being like morbidly violent, it's like kind of cutesy into just macabre.
Yes. Yeah, with Neville's like at first, was like, "Oh, look at all the cutesy brown characters."
They're all going to die.
Yes.
Well, not all of them.
70% of them.
It's like, how to piss off an SJW in 3 seconds.
Brett
It's 3
said,
easy steps. It's 3 easy steps. 1,
just,
promise them representation in a book. 2, make it a horror book. 3, everyone dies.
4, a brown guy writes and draws it.
Neville, wait, but no, you have you have the wrong opinions, Neville. Don't you know?
Exactly.
All right, let's move away from the politics, please.
Oh no! This is not politics. This is us making fun of politics.
True.
Because it's fucking
Well,
anyways,
yeah.
Brett does make a good point. He said Neville's like some bizarre offspring of Hiro Mashima and Jonan Vasquez.
You know, I like that. That is a good analogy, and I can see it. I can really see it.
Oh my god.
Well, I think Neville said
You know-
Jonan Vasquez is like a big influence.
Oh, I mean, Brett decided to flatter me enormously by citing like two of my biggest influences, at least my biggest conscious influences that I know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's hey, dude. At least you're in good company of who to be compared to. Because come on, dude.
Yep.
Like everything Jordan Vasquez has done has been amazeballs.
Dude, I mean, I'm one of the weirdos that read Johnny the Homicidal Maniac before I saw a full episode of Invader Zim.
Yeah, same. I
Oh,
thought it was
yeah.
great. And when
It is-
I found out he was the one who made Invader Zim, I was like, who would dare give this guy a children's show?
Give
Yeah,
that
but
man,
what?
whoever did it, give them a promotion.
Right?
I mean, the thing that always like busted me up the first time reading through Johnny the Homicidal Maniac is like it's like in the first issue and like couple pages in, there's this panel where there's this panel that occupies like 2/3 of the page, and it's just Johnny screaming at this kid, "Where the fuck is the Bat Teen?"
Yes!
Right.
Yes, screaming
I
at
remember
Squee.
Yes.
And
Yes,
and the
Squee.
thing is, you always have to ask why. Like every time you read this scene, you have to ask yourself, why didn't he wake up their Squee's parents?
They don't
And,
care.
and then that's the realization. Oh, that's shitty.
Oh god. But
Like-
yeah. Joan Vasquez, big influence. I love his shit.
You know, it's so amazing seeing like his art style from Johnny the Homicidal Maniac to the newest version of Invader Zim, like in the comics and in the Netflix thing. It's like wow, but they both work.
Yeah. He
'cause
cleaned
one-
up. He kind of cleaned up a lot since then.
Well, I look at a lot of his art style as being the best way to describe it is controlled chaos.
Mhm.
Okay,
That's his personal
Yeah.
style.
Personally, I actually really do like the newer look of Invader Zim. I mean, not that I didn't like the original look. I love it, but it's like I don't know. It's a little easier to look at.
Yeah, but I think how angular and hard it is kind of part of the appeal of the original.
Yeah, it has its own charm. It has its own charm to it, which I love and admire.
Yeah.
And I thought it was weird at first, but it kind of grew on me, especially after reading.
I mean, you should think it's weird. It's Jonan Vasquez. It's all
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, to be fair, you undersell it. You undersell it. He is weird, yes, but it is very philosophical. Which is like if you actually sit down and read like Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, Squee, I think Lenore, the one that got away, like that one's quickest. It's like 1 or 2 books, but you really sit down and see his overarching philosophy of like at the end of the day, nothing really matters, but at the same time, how you treat people does. Like that, I've noticed that is like one of his biggest themes in his book. Nothing matters, but how you treat people does.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to completely derail the conversation, but I would like to get.
Oh, we
back
already
to,
did.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm okay. You switched rails. I'm jumping the rail to get us back on track.
You're trying to pop us back over, like
Yes.
I can't believe that worked.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was just like jumping rails. So,
On to Hallow's Eve, the investigation.
yes. So, Hallow's Eve, the investigation is my story for Volume 2. It is a recounting of a string of murders in the state of Michigan by a tabloid journalist. So there's a couple things that go into that. First, you have a little bit of the, oh, it's an unreliable narrator. This guy's just kind of exaggerating shit to get a rise out of people. But I also wanted to emulate H.P. Lovecraft in the story. Because when I wrote it, I had just, like, one night I finished reading my H.P. Lovecraft collection because, like, a couple years ago, I just bought a big box set and then worked my way through it slowly over a couple years, and I had just finished it. And so, like, 2 nights later, I sit down to write this story. And I decided to make a pastiche to Lovecraft. So I wanted to structure it a lot like how he structured his stories, use a lot of the same kind of diction and phrasing for things. And so what kind of got spat out is a recollection of the events with the unsupernatural explanation and then the supernatural explanation. And the horror is supposed to come in, like, there's more beyond what is commonly accepted. Like, things can go beyond that. And it's not necessarily meant to be a super scary story as much as it is just to kind of emulate the vibe of traditional cosmic horror.
You wanted to go with, and I know what you're talking about here, that it doesn't scare you in the sense of you're jumping and
yeah.
It's that you walk down a dark alley and you remember that one passage, and you like it sends a shiver down your spine. That type of horror.
Yeah, and I think, like, I don't know, I'm pretty jaded when it comes to horror. It takes a decent amount to get me spooked, but I think, like, the descriptions of what's happening, even taken at face value without the supernatural, is, like, kind of sick. Yeah. Like, basically what happens is this guy is going around the state of Michigan murdering happy couples who are married and thus making a mockery of their love in the positioning of the corpses, which is kind of shown in the teaser image for the story. So I had 4 pieces commissioned for it by the talented Bezel LeBlanc. So I think, I don't know, I can let Nebel and Dylan speak to how well I captured the Lovecraft feel, and, like, what elements of the horror go through.
I mean, it does capture the Lovecraft atmosphere. It captures his diction really well. Like, it uses a lot of it uses his vocabulary a lot, and it does sound like he wrote it, to the point of, like, these really bizarrely verbose descriptions that sound basically out of a 20s pulp novel.
It has words. It uses
It
words.
has big words.
It has big words.
Ooh, big words. I'm not I'm sorry, I'm not scared of big words. Now, big books being thrown at me, they're painful. But big words, no, I'm good.
Well, I mean, now that you mention it, I do have a pretty big Lovecraft collection. But
Nice.
Anyway.
Same.
But yeah, I love hearing James describe all the stuff that happens as kind of sick, and I remember, like, I remember when he was talking about it, I was kind of snickering at the descriptions.
I have a collection too, but it's not Lovecraft, but it has tentacles.
Stop.
I'm just
Womp womp.
I'm just kidding.
I mean.
Yeah, he's only kidding. It's not a physical collection.
Yeah.
Bob.
But anyways, I'm very proud of it. I'm super excited to share it with people. It was actually very high praise from Dan. What would he say in the Kickstarter? With an elegant voice, fans of Lovecraftian horror should enjoy. It'll hit all the right notes for fans of the mysterious and the unknowable. And that was my goal. So I trust Dan's judgment in that, because he's not gonna just boost my confidence for no reason. So,
Oh, he's totally boosting your confidence for no reason.
I mean, he's boosting my confidence. I hope it's not for no reason.
Totally no reason. Just
Okay,
because.
No, the honest description of this should have been: if you have a big brain, you'll like these big words.
Hey now. You're talking to the guy whose dad accuses him of using $7 words, and I'm or no $10 words, and so the $7 words are words that aren't real. $10 words are real words that no one's heard of.
Ah, nice.
Well, I get paid by the $10 word.
True. So that's that. And the fun thing about my story, it also introduces the Samhain Shade as a character in the Mythiverse. So the Shade was the mascot on the cover of last year's volume of Hallowed Harvest. And Dylan and I decided to flesh him out and make him an actual character in universe. And so he makes his first appearance in this volume. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be all the fun.
Yeah. So, and then the final story in our collection is Hallow's Eve, The Hunt. I did the writing for the story. The art was done by another gentleman who asked to not be named in promotional material, so I will leave him anonymous for now. It follows the same set of events from Hallow's Eve, The Investigation. That's why I gave, there's the Hallow's Eve, and then I gave subtitles or whatever you want to call them. The Hunt follows a more direct line of events. So instead of it being interviews have said this and here's the details of the murders, it's more action oriented, not in the sense that there's more murder, although there is more murder. It's more action oriented in the sense that there's a flow of story that's somewhat absent from the previous or from the prose piece. It follows 3 characters. There's the murderer, a man by the name of Obadiah Lorenz, who's an he's a private investigator, who kind of is obsessed with the supernatural for reasons, and then a friend of his who is clad in bronze armor. And so Obadiah is trying to figure out who the hell this murderer is that's killing couples all over the state. While the murderer races to complete his final ultimate kill. I wish I could talk more about the artist because he does really good work. But I think fans of last year's comic will find, or last year's volume will find some familiar ink work and enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, don't mind the character in the bronze armor. He just came from the gay bar. Just don't mind him.
Stop it, you beastly savage, you.
Okay.
Go.
Well, yeah.
Oh no.
No, it's funny. I guess you can call her my girlfriend, whatever. Lady friend, however you want to call it. She's like, you do that way too well. I'm like, well, I mean.
Do it too well, please stop it.
Hey, if my whole thing was I have a lot of gay friends and I used to make all and I mean all the gay jokes.
Good. As you
But,
should.
hey!
I
called one of my friends back in the day when we used to play a lot of GoldenEye got named BMX because he'd be like, listen here, sweetie. I'm a bitch, not a skank. There's a difference. I said, you're neither. You're the village bicycle. You're BMX. And it stuck for the longest.
Oh, no.
BMX gonna give it to you.
So to answer Neostar's question, yes, the story does feature a private investigator, complete with trench coat, and I think he carries a Colt. I'm not 100% sure what he's drawn with in the story.
A gun.
Yes, him has pistol.
What's funny is I'm not even paying attention to chat. I'm sitting here on my phone drawing. Well, actually, more accurately, coloring a drawing I did.
No, I'm doing the same thing.
Hey, good to know. Good to
Yeah.
know. At least I'm not the only one working on art.
The work never ends.
He just solves all his problems with just like his gun.
I mean, he tends to have that kind of attitude. He's more of a
So what you're
ask
saying
one
is
question, and if there's no satisfactory answer, start shooting.
Oh my god!
no.
Kitchen...
So what you're saying is he
Mhm.
is the farmer from the first episode of Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Not a
Oh,
weeb. Never
oh.
watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I was for some reason I was just thinking of that thing, kitchen gun, bang, bang, bang.
Oh, the American Dad.
Oh,
Kitchen gun. Wait is it? It's the knife gun. Mightier than the pen. Pen gun. Wait, no, it's pen gun. Mightier than the knife. Knife gun. Mightier than the pen gun.
Oh, right. Oh, that one too. I was thinking of that where they had like that one guy. It was a live action thing. He's like, he started like just shooting up the kitchen. I mean, yeah, it was all shut. It was all broken and stuff, but it was clean. Use it for dishes. Bang, bang, bang. That's how the private detective character just solves everything. Just
All right. Hey. Sometimes you just need that guy. That you need that dirty hairy type that solves everything with a pistol.
Yes.
I
You
mean,
need that because the person who just refuses to use the pistol will eventually come up across something that they can't solve. Pistol solves everything. At least in story.
protect me, gun.
Anyway, so now that I've kind of covered the stories, I can also cover some of the stuff you can get if you decide to back Hallowed Harvest.
Now, your soulback is not one of those, so sorry.
What is not one of those?
Your soulback.
Oh, I see. Yes, your soul is forever claimed by Neville. You can't have it back. All right,
Don't worry, I'll just put it in a jar.
Well, no. See, he has a special process with it. See, he has his collection on
Trade secret.
Oh, very trade secret. I mean, you know, for me, I just have a soul collection because I'm trying to figure out how to give them to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. They were pagan spirits. They would never repent. But I'm trying to be nice. I don't want them to go to hell. That's mean.
Just the jar.
Okay, he doesn't just put in any jar. He puts in a jar next to the anime figure. Just use your imagination.
All right, let's move on.
Right along.
So let's move on to the value people can get out of this crowdfunding, shall we?
But the humor, the jokes,
the jar.
Well, we'll get more.
Oh, we can get more of that. I just don't want to get bogged down in the in whatever the hell
that will devolve into.
Yeah,
where it's like people are like, okay, well, this started out kind of safe for work, us being able to somewhat listen to it. You know, little bit of foul language, but we can still listen to it. Then it just went south fast.
Well, listen, once you get into jars of cum, there's no returning. So let's just not.
Oh well,
right.
outright said it. I didn't even outright say it. Well, I guess it's down the open.
All right, we're good. It's been broached. We're not going back there. All right. So, things you can get from this campaign. So we have our traditional $5 digital tier. Not only will that get you the second volume of Hallowed Harvest, but you'll also get a freshly re-edited first version. So we went through and we fixed a bunch of the little lettering errors. And there was a couple of minor rewrites just to make things flow a little bit better, be a little bit nicer for our readers. And you'll be able to catch up on all the spooky goodness from last year that you may not have been able to get.
100% of the trauma.
Yeah, so that's $5, and you get over 100 pages of digital content. I feel like that's a pretty good deal.
The PTSD that it gives you, though, will be free.
Oh yes, 100%. You're paying for the story. You're paying for the
16
content.
pages of PTSD. I think it's like 15 or 16 pages of PTSD.
No, your story is 19.
In the first one?
Oh, yes, in the first one. So over 30, like 34 total.
Yes.
All right. So that's
what an
$5.
interesting number. Anyway.
For $10, you can get the Digital Mythoverse catch-up pack. So you get everything that's been released so far by the Mythoverse, with the exception of some of the short comics that for the Patreon. So you get Adobe Kroger Dame Commanders number 1 and 2, Changeling and Urban Fairy Tale number 1, Mythics 1 and 2, Dropping Out, which is the story Dylan did with Dan. You get Narratus Mythologica volumes 1 and 2, Triple Crown Chapter 1, which is the Mythoverse's racing manga, and then Mythochibis volume 1. In addition to getting Hallowed Harvest volume 1 and 2, which I believe is over 350 pages of story for $10.
You know you want that story. wait, let me go full Bob Jones. Listen here, America. This is a lot of story. And I'm telling you a lot of story. We're talking those reticuloids are gonna be scared. They're gonna be trying to get their Zavolsky bot, their Bendis, all of it, and try to make you not want to buy this, but you're gonna want to buy it. Doesn't got the soy, doesn't got the reticuloids. It's just good soy-free American comics.
Thank you, Bob.
That's the $10 tier. The $25 our first print tier. So that is, you get Hallowed Harvest volume 2, a printed copy, in addition to all the digital goods. And then there's a separate $25 tier, which is the variant cover. So you can get the zombified Adobe Kroger variant. So if you scroll down a little bit, you can see we have the 2 covers. So there's the standard cover from Dylan, which is the Samhain shade, all stylized and spooky as hell. And then we get the zombified Adobe Kroger variant, which there's probably an updated version I could post up there. I'm gonna edit that later.
Yeah, there is a. I'll have to check and see if Xenolith is done with
Cool.
the final colors, but there is an updated version.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll get it updated whenever I get the chance. But
yeah, with like a lot more blood, a lot more.
Oh yes, more blood, more guts. So that's like an zombie version of the Adobe Kroger number 1 cover. So that is also like $25. Back at $30, you get the $25 tier plus an additional poster by Dylan Fagan in his signature crazy ass color style, which is, I absolutely love it. It contains elements from each of the stories, and it's fantastic.
Oh, you mean the John Wick colors? Yeah.
He calls them the John Wick colors, the pinks and blues. And then there's another $30 tier that's just the same thing but with a zombie cover variant. $35 is the Hollows print catch-up. So you get Hallowed Harvest Volume 1 and Volume 2 for $35. And then you can also do, for $35, both variants of Volume 2 instead of getting a copy of Volume 1. And then you can do the variant plus Volume 1. So there's a lot of customization in your options here for this campaign. A lot of mixing and matching. $40, you can get Hollow Sprint catch up with the poster. And so the next couple tiers are just variants of like poster catch up tiers. Starting at $90, you can get all the printed stuff. Adobe Kroger number 1, Adobe Kroger number 2, Changeling, Mythics 1 and 2, Dropping Out. All the good stuff. That's over 350 pages of print for $90. So there's
right.
that. And then again, more variants, poster stuff, and then the $150 tier is like the next big one, and that's like our trick or treat pack, where you get an extra copy of everything that you can hand out to coworkers, children, friends. If you want to scar a child for life, give them a copy of Volume 1 of Hallowed Harvest and tell them to read Maze of Dolls. It's totally a wholesome story.
Where nothing bad happens.
But yeah, so I think there's a ton of content and a lot of value you can get should you choose to back this campaign.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a lot of numbers.
It was, dude, you had more numbers than numbers I knew existed. I'm just saying.
Well,
But all I gotta say to the people out there is if you want to be in good spirits, the spooky season spirit, you need to back this book now. Back it now. Back it now. Yeah. You know.
Spooky month.
Yeah, and I think at the core of it is a celebration of Halloween. It's meant to be like, it's Halloween time. Let's have some good spooky storytelling.
Yeah. Like I said, it's spooky season. We gotta have some fun with spooky season.
Yes.
No fun at spooky season means no fun of the year. I mean, come on.
Honestly, if you don't have any fun in October, where the fuck else are you gonna have fun during the year?
Well, no, I mean it's one of those. You know, you want to be able to make sure that people have that they have that holiday fun, because how can you have fun with Christmas, Thanksgiving, and whatnot if you have a crappy Halloween? You don't kick off your, you know what I mean, your holiday season correctly.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta have a good Halloween to go into the winter months without being just sad all the time.
Just saying.
So, I don't know. Do you have any questions about the project, Mr. Jones?
Well, my first question is quite frankly, how do y'all come up with a lot of these ideas? Do y'all spend like the year just cultivating what you want to do with this? Is this like what goes into the process of one of these? Just because I know a lot of people out there are probably wondering.
So I'm okay with answering first because I have my answer immediately. I tend to just kind of come up with my stories on the spot. For as long as I can remember, I've always been terrible about like pre-planning written material. I have written virtually every essay since I've been in like 8th grade, the day it was due.
I know that feeling, but
and I just it's carried into my creative life a little bit. I'm a little bit better about it, but it's still like I have a really hard time having the impulse to do it ahead of time. I just have to do it all in one sitting at like as close to the deadline as possible. But something about the stress just makes me turn out some of my best work. Like my essays were loved by my teachers, and I think I've had very positive feedback to both my story from last year and my story this year. So yeah, but the answer to your question is I just kind of get it in the moment. I don't pre-plan this stuff much at all. It's just kind of like, oh, idea, write it down, and within 3 days, okay, cool. Now it's just refinement.
all right.
Okay. Should I tell my creative process?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I actually got a funny story for first time around. For the first Hallowed Harvest, I actually had the script written up for like this raunchy, dumb slasher thing. I hated it so much, and then last minute I was like, you know what? I'll just make a story that like ties into like the paladins and such, because the other story I just read through, I'm like, I don't like this one bit. And for the second one is actually something I've been planning since like I'd say 2019.
All right.
So yeah, the earlier idea came into the second volume because I'm like, this is my chance right here, to establish some things, lay some groundwork.
Hey, I mean, well, obviously, farm, you did good because you've been second time back. You've been involved with the Mythoverse, as far as I know, for practically like the whole time, though. I mean, so it's not like you had anything to prove.
I mean, I was attached to Mythoverse like mid to late 2019, but I officially started putting out content summer of 2020.
Okay.
And just nonstop, I've been just like bam, 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 putting out stuff because I love doing it, and this is honestly the Mythoverse is probably the most fun thing I've experienced in a while, and I hope the other creators feel the same way. I really feel like I've grown close to them. Like really like this friendly bond. With all the creators, and we all come together, and we make this stuff happen. And I feel like Hallowed Harvest is something truly special, at least to us. And I could not do this with anyone else. At least I don't think so. Yeah, it takes a lot of synergy, it takes a lot of work, dedication, but ultimately we want to give readers something, that they can enjoy. And at the end of the day, I think that's perfect right there.
You want to give readers a celebration of the things they love, not a reminder of the things they hate.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I think part of that, to kind of steal from Getty Tartakovsky's theory of designing entertainment, is it's to make stuff that celebrates what the audience loves. You have to make stuff celebrating what you love.
Mm-hmm.
So in producing entertainment, we should strive to produce the type of entertainment we want to see, not that we think people want to see. And we have to be genuinely passionate about it. If you don't have both of those things, then it's not going to work. I think one of the reasons dropping out works so well is because it's a story that Dan really wanted to tell, and he had a lot of passion behind it. And Dylan had the passion to bring the stylization and make it part of the story. And those things synergized to produce a really high quality comic.
Okay. Yeah, because the script Dan gave me, it was very, it didn't have any of, it was a very straightforward script. Adobe does this, she goes this place, she does that. Like, that's it. And then Dan told me, hey, go nuts. And then, well.
Yeah. And so I think it rings true that if you produce something that you're passionate about, and you're not just doing anything to disparage, you're just doing something purely out of passion, it might not be the greatest quality, but it'll have meaning and it'll have value to people. I think another good example of that is like the One Punch Man comic.
Yeah.
Dude's art isn't very good, but his passion is great.
Yes, and
his storytelling, his passion in his storytelling shows. So even though like the technical skill might not be there, the passion and the good storytelling shows through.
Yes, and One Punch Man and My Hero Academia are two things that are keeping comic books alive right now. Let's just be honest. Like the fan base for My Hero Academia, not so much, but
Well, you're gonna get that kind of thing just about everywhere.
yeah. But I will say that, like, I guess the best way to put it, I mean, well, hold up. Dylan went. Neville, have you explained your process, or where you got?
I have not, and my process. It's kind of interesting to talk about this in the context of Hallowed Harvest because what I did for each of these stories was completely different. So, for the way I would categorize the way I ran with my first Hallowed Harvest story, which was Maze of Dolls, is it was very spontaneous.
Oh yes.
Is just
Can I explain
Go ahead.
I just want to give an idea of the production cycle for each story to give more context to what you're talking about, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
So yeah, before Nebel goes, we had two very different production cycles between Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 1 was in a exhausted, potentially slightly drunken stupor, was like, hey guys, Halloween comics, let's do it. And that was like the last week of July, and we had our comic out digitally the day before Halloween. So that was like a 3-month production cycle, pretty much. Whereas this year we started pre-planning in like March or April, and production started to varying degrees in May. And we're just wrapping up production now. So we had a lot more time to think and edit and plan. So I'll let Nebel run with that info now.
Right. And with that in mind, my first story was a lot more spontaneous, and the elements that sort of comprised it were one, a main character that I actually have slated to star in another Mythoverse story that I'll be getting around to eventually. And another element is a couple of things that I like that I sort of mashed together. Like one of the things is that I just happened to be watching a bunch of you ever see those like true horror story videos that float around on YouTube every so often?
Yep. Where it's like if you focus in on it, you see this, it seems to be this, and you're just kind of like, you're half looking at it like that makes no sense, but at the same time, you're just kind of like, all right, whatever, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I found was a couple videos have been going around about like times that people mistook actual corpses for Halloween decorations.
Nice.
And I'm like, this would be kind of cool to make a story out of. And then I decided to combine that with one of the other like Halloween memories that I've actually had is like you ever go to oh god, this is gonna reveal my location so hard. But do you ever go to places that have like Halloween mazes?
Oh, like fun houses and everything, but
yeah, where they'll have it all set up with spooky shit, and they'll sometimes have people in costumes like pop up and scare you.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that. I actually did that quite a bit when I was a younger lad.
Oh, you don't look a day over 300.
I know. I take good care of myself when I'm not puking my guts out. Yeah, but I decided to find a way to combine these two elements and throw a character that I've already had in the middle of it to see what would happen.
Nice.
For Jungle of Ghosts is the complete opposite end of that. It was a really meticulous, arduous process running through the scripts. I ran through like 3 or 4 drafts before I got to the one we're publishing.
Oh.
Yeah, like the first draft was like completely different.
Yeah,
Like,
the first draft was almost entirely different from the last one. Although, in terms of plot, if you boil down the plot structure, what happens is about the same, but it changes a whole lot. The first incarnation of Jungle of Ghosts, which, as you noticed on the Kickstarter, was originally called Fruit of Our Foes. That was originally going to be a period piece set on Guam during World War II, which would have been, at the time, that would have been under the Japanese occupation. And there's a lot. So there's a lot of nuance, and there's a lot of interesting historical stuff that I wanted to squeeze in there. And by the time I edited this particular version of the story a couple times, I realized the only way I could fit in all the things that I wanted the period piece to have is to basically make it into a graphic novel of at least 30 pages.
And that ain't gonna happen.
No, that's...
Right.
I'm like, okay, this is going to be like... This time, James set, like, a fairly generous, like, loose limit. I was like, just don't make a full-length comic, or try to avoid making a full-length comic for this time around. So, by the time I get done with these edits and I realize, not only will it be a full-length comic, but it'll be a full-length comic and possibly another full-length comic.
You're like, I need to do something here. I have a problem. What am I doing with my life?
I kind of need to pull back a little bit. All these ideas and concepts are cool, and I like them, but maybe for another time.
Maybe not this project. Maybe
spread
them out amongst other projects. Don't blow my load on the first shot.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta take your time with that. Gotta work up to it. So this time, I managed to make a draft of the story that has about the same thing happen. And it has a different cast of characters, but I knew I was doing something right because I was feeling a little bit guilty about what was happening in the story.
That is the exact feeling I had when I was writing it. I'm like, oh God, I'm doing horrible things.
It's like, do I have to? Yeah, I do. So I knew I was on the right track with it. I made it with a cast of characters that I think I could work with, and I condensed the story into something that could be told in a shorter amount of pages. And that amount is 19, so I very narrowly avoided making it a full-length comic.
But you still managed to do it.
I did it. And I'm really happy with the way Jungle of Ghosts turned out. Because it manages to get it actually does manage to get all the sort of thematic stuff I wanted to get in there. And obviously getting in Guam, getting into Tautaumona, getting into local lore and ghosts and the spookiness that happens later that I won't spoil. But yeah, I managed to get everything in there, and I didn't need to write like a 40-page epic to do it. Which is what I originally planned on doing.
You managed to avoid it trying to be like the Iliad, the Odyssey, so on and so forth.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, there's other projects I do that with.
Exactly.
But yeah, this one I managed to condense, and I'm pretty happy with how it was condensed. And like I said, I'm actually kind of happy that the thematic stuff that I really wanted, I actually managed to squeeze it in there. And it's not like, at least I don't think it's completely in your face. Maybe like the people who read it can tell me differently. But the people who read it like it, so that's a good thing for me. Right.
If they liked it, then you're good. You're good.
I must be doing something right. But yeah, that's a long way to say that my creative process tends to although the Tao Mona thing is actually something I wanted to do for a really, really long time. Like, I wanted to tell a story about this for years because
really want to make you wanna
Ah!
I'll
But
show
yeah.
myself out now. I'll show myself out.
Anyway, but yeah, I wanted to make this story for a long time because I'm at least part a native Chamorro, or I'm not from Guam, but my family, I have that heritage. And I kind of wanted to do something with this concept for a really long time, but I kept trying to do drafts of stories for this kind of thing, and I didn't like any of them up till now.
Yeah, there you go. You found one that finally worked for you.
Yeah. So it's a very different, again, it's very different from how I did the first story, where it's like, it's something I just sort of stumbled on YouTube and decided to like throw it together with something I already knew. This is something that's kind of been in the works for a really long time and only just now materialized in a form that I liked.
Well, there you go. See, sometimes it just takes, if you will, a project that you would not normally be involved with if you will, want to work on it. Like me, I'm kind of a recluse, so it's like, well, where do you want me? But then I got deadlines, and I got people who are counting on me to not screw up, and I'm kind of the
Yeah.
world's biggest screw up. Yeah, I'd bring everyone down. Y'all have fun with that.
Oh man. Well, yeah. This story is kind of the opposite end. It's very, very long, meticulous stuff that boiled for a really long time. But I usually just draw from something that I'm interested in and try to make something out of it. Like, something else that I've done recently, like fairly recently, is that I've been trying to write romance stories lately because on a bizarre whim, I just decided to consume a lot of like slice of life romance manga, and I'm like,
Because
I
they're
feel like
amazing.
writing this
Because
because
they're
what?
amazing.
Because yeah, I found out like the weird thing that got me thinking about it is that I saw the Naruto the last movie, the one where at the end he finally hooks up with Hinata, and I'm like, huh. In a lot of these shonen animes or a lot of these shonen manga, I'm actually really invested in when the protagonist will actually hook up with his crush. Maybe I should check out manga that focuses on that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So weird. It was like so one-sided for like forever, and then the movie happens. It's like, oh well, they fucked.
Well, good. It finally happened. I was wondering when it would happen.
Well,
But yeah, go ahead.
wasn't he like a simp for Sakura for like the longest time?
He was.
Kind.
Then he got over it when he realized she was a fuck.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, from what I've been able to gather from like, cause I'm not a Naruto fan, but from what I've been able to gather, basically she did some dumb things, and the Naruto was kind of like, yeah, I think I dodged a bullet there. I think I dodged all the bullets actually.
Well, I mean, the guy she was crushing on tried to genocide their village, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that really bugged me. She lied about. There's like this whole scene where she told Naruto she loved him, but she was lying to him just I guess so he wouldn't suspect she was gonna fucking go after Sasuke, and it's like yeah, it's like, you bitch. Naruto's over here literally like hyperventilating because all the the weight of the world is on his shoulders.
Way to emotionally manipulate him. Check, bravo.
Yeah, he's being emotionally manipulated.
But yeah.
While the weight of the world is on his shoulders, he just starts hyperventilating. He is a 16-year-old boy having this sort of pressure on him. Of course he's gonna freak the hell out.
He's already killed Ben before.
Sakura is a manipulative bitch. Just, I'm sorry. Just, I used to be. I used to be really into Naruto back when I was a teenager, and that's one thing that really irked me.
Anyway, that's a really long way to say that, like, most things that strike my fancy, I'll end up writing or drawing something on, even if I only just decided in the moment,
Shit!
I kind of want to go into this kind of thing more. So I, like, dive into it and obsessively consume it until I decide to make something out of it.
I didn't realize we were still talking about your book. I thought we moved on to Naruto.
Yeah. No problem.
Why not both?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm like, oh, we're talking about anime now. Let's go.
Porque no los dos. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of a way to get back to tie into like what my creative process is, and it's mostly like stuff that I like or stuff that I decide I want to learn more about. I'll just like go on an obsessive binge over, and then I'll like absorb the stuff from it that I like and try to make something like it.
There you go. Like, that's all it really is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, come on. And seriously, all jokes aside, all the best media is a love letter to some other media. I mean, if you take comic books at their heart, they're a love letter to the old Grecian tales of heroes and heroism, just in general. Even as far up into like the medieval tales of heroes and heroism. It's that if you will, the love story to that type of storytelling, and then you get the rare stories that are love stories to the characters in the world they live in, like Justice League: The New Frontier.
And my favorite example to use with this is how Star Wars was conceived. That it's basically Star Wars is basically George Lucas's love letter to Flash Gordon, Kurosawa movies, and John Ford westerns.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he used to like do drag races back home, and he finds like World War II footage films really fascinating. It's just like a mashup of a bunch of stuff that he likes.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Which, that's a pretty good way to do it.
Uh-huh. Well, think about it. A good writer doesn't take from just one thing. A good writer has read so much that they can just pull from anything. That's why in order to be a good writer, you must at first be a good reader.
It also helps to have a broad collection of interests to draw from.
That too. I mean, come on, if you haven't lived a life, how can you expect to tell the story of one?
Yeah, exactly. Go out, find weird shit.
Alright. Well, Legend of Zelda was because the creator of it made it because when he was a kid, he enjoyed going on adventures, whatnot, going out exploring because he had a forest by his house that he grew up at.
Right.
So, I mean
the Pokemon creator just liked collecting bugs when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, it just... There's so many, like, things that you can actually look at and can gain influence from for your writing, as long as you have an open mind to be able to receive said influence.
And if you're able to process it in a way that you can actually use. Like, you can kind of distill stuff that you can take away from it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So everyone knows I was making a cappuccino, a strong one, before the stream went live.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta save this because I think this one got lost amongst, I'm not sure. When was this? 2020? No, I should still have it from last year. Still, just in case. Gotta pop this back over to this side. Even See, I don't got porn tabs. I just got 50 million tabs of fucking like. How do I put this? YouTube, various like random articles. One thing for like pose dolls that I want to use for drawing. You know, the ones that are like highly articulate, because I finally figured out how to do, you know, knees and elbows. Don't ask. I really can't explain what happened. But I was just drawing at work one day, and all of a sudden it clicked, and I'm like, I feel so stupid right now because it's literally that easy.
Oh my god.
But
Oh.
as I was
Well, a lot of this stuff isn't always obvious. It might be easy, but it's not always obvious. Ah, did he die?
Huh?
Oh, I think he... Did he die?
What, Bob?
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Hello? Were you trying to
No,
contact me?
Bob.
Oh no, it's just us now.
Oh, wow, fun.
Oh, Bob Jones is disintegrated. Very good.
Rip.
okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been
Oh,
zoned
there
out for like
he
the last
is.
45 minutes.
There's the man.
Like so yeah, no, I had to restart the browser again because as soon as I went to like share screen, it was like click.
Nah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like share screen. All right, got the funny. Got it. All right, and close.
Right.
I think he disappeared again. Very good.
Oh, looks like it's loading in. It's loading something in.
Baby.
Oh. One of my tabs is a reenactment of the Lincoln-Douglas debate. It's like 3 hours long.
I give up. I guess the stream does not like the coffee joke is too strong.
Too strong.
Are you trying to share a picture of it?
Yes, I was trying to share a meme.
Oh no.
It's a chick like, can I get a large latte with the 7 espresso shot? And a dude standing next to her like, holy shit, just do cocaine! And I'm like, that's y'all to me. That's a lot of people to me. Like, holy shit!
Well, far be it for me to discourage you from doing cocaine. What up? Oh man.
But all in all, we've been going for about an hour and a half, even with all my, coming in and out because, reasons.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Right. It's like, no! I'm just trying to make people laugh. Why do you gotta fight me?
Because laughter is illegal, didn't you know?
I mean, it really is. It
This
really is.
illegal, you know.
I'm just, dude. That's why I just make jokes because it pisses people off more.
Well, yeah.
The harder I laugh, the more mad they get.
Yeah, like one of the last comedians in the world just passed away. Like shit.
Yeah, I saw a joke that he made, and it was so great because it was like something where he was like, "That's cis heteronormative talk right there," and the dude was like, "I don't even know what you're saying." It's like basically it's a way to marginalize normal people. Like, and I'm like, "Oh God, Norm Macdonald's not wrong though. He's
He wasn't wrong about a lot.
Okay, I need to find. Okay, someone needs to send me that clip. That sounds fucking hilarious. I love the Moth joke because like the fucking punchline takes so long, but once it gets there, it's like once you finally because like
no.
Because someone made this observation about him. Like, when he makes a joke that doesn't land, he'll tell it again multiple times and make it funny because it's him.
Oh, no. What I find funny is all right,
Yeah.
I have a joke I tell, and the whole point of this joke, all right, is to. It's not funny for the people I tell the joke to. When I get to the end of the joke, it's not funny for them. It's hilarious for me because depending on how nice I am, if I'm feeling nice, the joke will only take about 20 minutes. If I'm feeling the asshole, I can make this joke upwards of like 2-3 hours, and it's a story I'm telling.
Right.
Jeez.
And oh man, you believe me, I've had some people like that I've told this joke from just be like, you know what, stay the fuck away from me, dude. Just stay the fuck away from me. Hey, if you don't troll people, are you even living?
Yes. You
Eh,
can live without trolling people. If
but-
I may share my screen before we end, I do want to share the trailer for Hallowed Harvest #2.
Alright, let's see. For some reason, it's not even showing you pop it up.
Yeah, we were planning on putting together a special trailer, but the voice actress we were getting, she was very busy.
I have it ready to share whenever that may be allowed.
That is allowed.
All right, very good. Let's just enjoy.
And so it is that in the month preceding that harvest in Sabbath, the Shade, that malignant keeper of lore, ventures into the world of man to collect new tales. Failing to find any of merit, he twists the bonds of fate to create his own, leaving gourds carved with grotesque images of the unfolded events. Nicholas Stent, Unusual Folklore.
Five points to whoever did that. I'll say that.
So the narration was written by me. It's actually an excerpt from Hallowed the Investigation. So if you liked that, the narration there, then you might enjoy the rest of the story as well. And then the narration work was done by the always wonderful Lost Lenore.
Ah. Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, she's awesome.
But all right. Well, I guess we're gonna go ahead and, like I said, was about to say, we're gonna go ahead and call it there, gentlemen. And we're gonna go ahead and start with you, James. Where can people find you?
At jam_stern on Twitter. And I think it's the same on Minds. Let me double check. I haven't used Minds that much. Oh, it's at James_Stern on Minds. So at Jam_Stern on Twitter, James_Stern on Minds.
All right. And Noble, where can people find you?
On the Twitter, it's at PNIEDERBRACH. And on the Mins, it's at Nebel. Let's see. I think it's at Nebel Art as one word.
All right. And we don't care about the stream killer because he kills streams.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram at Ronan RONAN underline stream killer. On Instagram, yeah, that's on Instagram. On Facebook, you can find me at Dylan R. Fagan Artwork. That's my Facebook art page. I am not on Twitter. I left because it is far too toxic. And I believe you can find me on Minds. Well, I am on Minds. I think it's I think I'm still under King Pickle on there. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you can find me. You can find any of my stuff like just through like the Mythoverse Minds account. Like you'll see me tagged there. Just so you won't have to look. You don't have to do some hard searching or anything. So yeah.
Alrighty. Alright, and as always, you folks can find me on the Twitters at Brainiac420. You can find me everywhere else at Bob Jones Comic Wars. And with that, I think we shall catch you folks later. Later, folks.
Later.
Adieu.
No, end the broadcast. Do it now, you